Yeah, what's going on Facebook? What is going on YouTube? This is the Genesis Block Mondays at 11 a.m. It's so good to be with y'all this morning. We got some incredible news. My man Bitcoin Zay couldn't be with us this morning, so we're going to get this thing popping off the way I can get it popping off. This past weekend, what happened was we had SNL. It was a shot heard around the world. Everybody was expecting the Doge father, a.k.a. Elon Musk, a.k.a. Tony Starks, to come out and talk about Doge, and he did in a very slight way, and he talked about cryptocurrencies on the show. But people don't understand that SNL for the last few weeks has brought up something in the cryptocurrency market, from NFTs to other currencies. So it's not a big surprise that we see that. And also in the news this past weekend is the thing that once Elon spoke about it on SNL, he came out the very next day and said that SpaceX was going to be accepting Doge for their trip, to push a satellite into space and send it to the moon. So, I mean, it's been a very interesting weekend. So, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing, man? Let's get this thing going. Let's get it started. Everybody out there in Facebook and YouTube world, could y'all please share this everywhere? Share, like, comment, do the dang thing. Make sure that let's get this information out there. Let's make sure everybody knows what we're doing. We would like to say really quickly, please, if you would, please welcome all the Android folk. Clubhouse is now open to Android. So all of you Android listeners out there that have been wondering how you can get on Clubhouse, it is now open directly to you. So make sure you jump on and get involved in what we doing around here. All right. So I'm going to ask the panel, what did y'all think about this whole Elon Musk weekend? And let's just say the week adding up to what happened with Elon Musk. What do y'all think about it? I would love to hear what y'all got to say.
Hey, I think it was classic, pump and dump, man. We had a lot of expectation built up. And so you saw price run up on Dogecoin. And then, it was a big letdown. And then you saw 40% drop right from there. So from 73 cents, it dropped 40% down to 44. It pulled back up after they announced the little SpaceX thing. But then people realized, what am I going to pay SpaceX for? They're not taking me into space. So then it promptly dropped off again. So, I mean, it's pretty interesting, man. I think it was just designed, to get people caught up and, put more money in. And now, if you got in at the top, you in a little bit of hell right now. You catching a little bit of hell right now. But that is the price of tuition. That's what we always.
That's a fact. I actually just posted this on my Instagram about him. Like he said, well, explain Doge, and you just see him being over there all jolly and happy, and people were really expecting him to say something spectacular, and they didn't. It's like you really know it's like, hey, this is a joke. But people don't really care what they're spending money on either, so it's a big eye-opening experience for most of the world, though. But for all the people who I believe want to say, who sit and think they know the market, oh well, he's going to do this and he's going to do that. Like, no, you realize that it's really not worth nothing but speculation. And that's how he played it. But he's going to still help him make money. He's Elon, so keep doing what you're doing, I guess.
That's a fact.
You guess.
I'll quickly say.
I guess. I don't know.
I'll quickly say, right, like, Elon played his hand just like he had been playing the hand, right? He, in previous news articles, told people to be mindful that if you're investing now, when it's at 60 cents, it has a high possibility and probability of falling, right? Be cautious. Some people took his statements, which could have went either way, but if you have the proper context, when he compared Doge to the value of dollars, you'd have been like, oh, well, fiat isn't backed by anything, it's not worth anything, and it's highly inflationary. So what about Doge? Same characteristics, right? Highly inflationary. 10,000 Doge come to the market every 1 minute, right? So we know this, but people don't care. Hopium is one of the most strongest drugs that people have, and then they just fall to the wayside with it. I would just say, looking at the charts and how things were moving, I threw fib levels up so people can sort of kind of see price action on the daily. If you PTR on my profile, you'll see that there are a lot of bots that are just simply trading this thing, right? Because it's falling right to key psychological and mathematical levels, right? So the 382 to 618, the zero point 0.5 fib isn't an actual real one, but that's what human nature comes into. So just look at those wicks, look at the candles, and you'll see this is nothing more than just a classic pump and dump. And him accepting it to go to Mars or whatever, it means absolutely nothing, right? But he's just leveraging the community, because the community in the past has helped sponsor a bobsled team or something else like that, got Doge out there and supported NASCAR in some way, shape, or form. So he's leveraging their community to make this move, because it's easy, raise capital. But he did say, right, it is not a serious project until several things happen. They need to fix inflation. People need to divest from their wallets because it's too centralized, and some other things. Until then, just note, Elon does not hold Doge, and just because people accept something, that does not mean that they're actually going to keep it in that value. So they can accept Doge and then swap it for something else that actually has a use case. But
yeah, so Ryan,
that's it.
Yeah, Ryan, I'm gonna carry on with that, because the one thing people have to understand, there's no additional value added to anything because people are willing to accept it. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, think about it, does the dollar go up because somebody takes it down at the corner store? Like,
Nope.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people don't like it's just a medium of exchange, because what they really want is whatever they're trading the dollar for. If the dollar was that much more valuable than what they're trading it for, they would hold on to the dollars and not actually get the thing at the corner store. You get what I'm saying? People are not going to do, but it's a medium of exchange. So when you have a Doge and people are willing to accept it for something, you got to remember they have an entire supply chain. Like, if they're building rockets and satellites, they have to go buy the metal. They got to go buy the components. They got to go buy, right, all the motors or whatever else is necessary, the propulsion packs, right? They got to go buy all of this other stuff that is in the supply chain. So them accepting it is not as important as if they can get their entire supply chain to accept the currency as well. And then what happens with that is it goes back to the employees. If you can get it down to the point where the supply chain accepts and then they pay the employees in it, that changes things, because now you have a cyclical circular economy. But listen, man, just accepting Doge doesn't do anything for it. There were a lot of businesses back in the day that accepted Bitcoin and they stopped because they realized quickly that they didn't want that volatility on their books. So they got rid of the Bitcoin and sold it for something else. Now there are probably more people that are willing to take Bitcoin. Why? Because it's not as volatile as it used to be. We see that Doge right now is extremely volatile. It's jumping 10%, dropping 10%, so on and so forth. So it's very interesting out here in these streets, man, because all it feels like Elon has been doing is completely distracting you from actually accumulating Bitcoin while it's sitting in this sideways price action, man.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I feel like what we witnessed was just a huge ego trip for Elon. You know, he wanted to flex his muscle. He wanted to show that he was a market maker. And, you know, as we moved out of this GameStop frenzy where Reddit was used as a market maker. And I think Elon is like, look at me, I'm very rich and I'm also powerful and I can create value, perceived value in a coin if I pump it, right? And he was successful. He made the market. So I think that he's it's a thumb in the face of the regulators and anybody else that believes that they're in control of this financial system. And I absolutely agree with you, Lamar. It is just noise. Doge is noise. It's a distraction from the main one, the OG Bitcoin. And my big concern is that there were a lot of people that got distracted and they took their eye off the ball. Like my daddy used to say, keep your eye on the prize, and the prize is Bitcoin. And that's all you need to focus on.
Hey, I like to add something. Go ahead, my bad.
No, you can go ahead. I'll come after.
No, you good, vegan.
So I like to add something Miss Charlene said, Lamar. So it's like this, man. I understand people are traders. They have their lifestyles. And so people are asking, like, Justin, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? Doge is doing this. Ethereum's doing this. I'm like, listen, man, like Lamar hit on it earlier. To me personally, there is no such thing as alt season, especially when Bitcoin is in the red. Like I came to this mindset early on in 2016. It was like, all right, if Bitcoin is in the red trading sideways, that means it's stable enough for you to continuously buy it buy Satoshis at a consistent price. So you can probably increase your Satoshi cost averaging. You can do anything, right? But the minute that money goes away towards something else, it might get locked up into another coin, and then Bitcoin shoots up and your coin is shooting down. That happened way too many times. So, when Charlene was talking about keeping your eye on the ball, I try to tell this to a lot of people. They just let it go in one ear out the other. But like I said, to a few of you all, when they're looking south, when they're looking at other places, that means Bitcoin is wide open. And I've come to the point now. I used to feel bad, but they got to learn. Like Jakumi said, that's the price of tuition. So I really don't see why people run towards other stuff when Bitcoin's in the red. But I'm just one guy.
I kind of feel like overall it was a great weekend for SNL. They got a huge viewing. It was also a great weekend for Elon, right? People seen him. I think he came up very likable, and as a business guy, that's dope for his business and everything he got his hands in. And also, I think it was a great weekend for crypto. People that aren't familiar with crypto, they're now intrigued. Even though it is Dogecoin, at least they're getting familiar with something. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin is king, and Dogecoin, I don't know, maybe that could be that gateway drug to get to Bitcoin. And they could practice all their mistakes and stuff with Doge. But overall, there's plenty of Doge. Doge is not going anywhere. And there is a limited amount of Bitcoin. So,
hey, I agree with you, Corey.
Go ahead. Go ahead, CJ.
I was just going to say, I would agree with you, Corey. But the only thing is, we know that this Doge rage has been fueled by, the Robin Hoods. So it's really, people trading it. And it's not really people actually using it, right? The number of wallets has not really increased by much. So, people aren't even using it. They're just using it to trade. And that's the reality of it.
But it's the awareness, though, right? Like whether or not they're using it correctly right now, they're now aware of it, and then they can learn as they go, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if I would count them as being in the space, because they're not really learning how to actually use it or how to actually move it around. So I don't know.
Corey, my push would be, and then I'll pass. No, CJ, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, no, I was just going to agree with Corey, but I also understand where Jakumi's coming from in the sense where I've had more and more people than ever have hit me up asking me about Doge or about cryptocurrency within the last couple months. And, it feels good to be able to educate them on what's really going on. Because, a year ago when I was talking about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, really before COVID, nobody was really paying attention. Bitcoin was going down for 3 years and it's a fraud, it's a scam, whatever. And now everybody's interested. So, it can be like the gateway drug, what's really going on, and allows me to educate them on, the whole evolution of money.
Absolutely. Yep. I think it's an attention grabber. Elon doesn't have to talk about Bitcoin. Michael Saylor, he's carrying the corporate torch. He's really pushing it out there for corporations. Tesla and SpaceX both had people in the audience at the conference. We would scroll through the chat and see who all was attending. Elon can talk about Doge because he's not invested in Doge. He knows that if he started talking about Bitcoin and really trying to push that, the SEC would go after him again for that, claiming that he's manipulating markets. And when it comes to SpaceX claiming they're taking Doge, again, what does that mean? It really means absolutely nothing. And that SpaceX has a whole bunch of Bitcoin on the balance sheet that they don't have to claim right now because they're a private company. They don't have to release that information to us. So even if they took, 8 billion Doge, whether they kept it on their balance sheet or not, we know that Bitcoin is ultimately what's going to carry that company to Mars.
Yep. My only push, and I hear what Corey and CJ are saying, right? I hear what you all are saying. But the thing is, it's all profit driven, right? It's just like being hooked on a drug where people have hit the lottery or they go to the casino, they have one good day, and then they feel like they have a winning streak, right? But they don't have a process. They don't have a purpose either. So their purpose becomes profit driven, and that's it. So they go from one meme coin to the next with only the intention of making money, not understanding the space. Now, for people that really understand that is their aim, I have no problem with it. But you don't have a plan. Your plan is to ride a hype train, and you're not really a momentum trader, right? You just hope magically certain things happen. Like, this coin that has 100 trillion tokens goes to $1. Like, how does that mathematically make sense? right? So they're not looking
Mhm.
at total adjustable market cap. They're not looking at a whole bunch of these other things. It's just hopium, right? I hope, I hope, I hope, I hope, I hope. And we hear that time and time again. So it's just like, if we can really get people to focus on the purpose within the space and let that drive them, along with realistic expectations, I think then the conversation shift. Because what winds up happening is so many people get burned and then they have a negative experience and then they say, oh, crypto is a scam, X, Y, Z, and the third, or they just simply lose it, right? Because they're consistently chasing profit. It's easy to get money. It's hard to keep it. It's even harder to pass it along. Right?
Yeah,
So that would be my only push.
I'm gonna jump in here with
This
some.
is Ryan. I'm done speaking.
I'm gonna jump in here with some stuff from that I see on Facebook and YouTube. So Miss Lynette Whitehurst says, "I'm here for educational pieces you guys drop. I'm tired of following, quote unquote, the celebrities and extremely rich. I want to step back, listen, and learn from people who really care about the black community. I have the basics of knowing that this is an investment and it is a risk regardless. Also, thanks to Naja Roberts and the Black Wall Street for the tour and coming to Shreveport, Louisiana. Her value cost averaging explained another piece to the puzzle." And then we had Carmelo from hold on, there it goes, from YouTube, who says, "Problem is they'll get in and out of FOMO and take a bloodbath in this space uneducated." And I think that's what some of the risks that are involved with what's going on right now. Because the crazy part is that we've been teaching about Bitcoin for a very long time, right? And then people who you've been trying to tell about Bitcoin have come to you this weekend as experts around cryptocurrency because they bought Doge and it went up. You see what I'm saying? And they won't listen to anything else because all they're seeing is the fiat value going up. We have to remember that the fiat value is not what we're in this game for. We got to remember that when we look out at what's going on with fiat and how they continue to print more and more of it and how it is being debased, we got to remember that the reason why we hold Bitcoin is to basically hold it against that, right? Now, yeah, you could be doing it to try to get more fiat, but that fiat, when you get it, what's it going to do? It's going to depreciate. It's going to begin to lose its value because they keep putting more in. So why would you ever hold anything in cash, in dollars? Right? There's no reason to do that. We should continue to try to recommend or to basically try to encourage people to own assets. Even if it's not Bitcoin that you own, like begin to start thinking about being an asset earner versus being a wage earner, because that's the way that you're going to get out of this situation. The issue is this, you guys, when we have inflation in assets, that benefits the rich. When that inflation starts to turn over into consumers, that hurts the poor. Because you can't make enough money to buy, right, enough of the products. And that's the issue. The asset earners, people who have their money in assets and those prices go up, they've become more rich and they don't have to spend as much time making as much money. You, on the other hand, when prices begin to go up on consumer goods like your food and your rent and things like that, you have to work more time to make sure that you have enough money to pay those things. So this is what we're dealing with when we have a country and a government that continues to keep pushing and printing more and more money. So you just have to realize, like, it's time to start taking a little bit of what you have, the money you can afford to lose, not your rent money or anything like that, and find an asset that you can put your dollars into so that you can save your purchasing power. And of course, we would say Bitcoin. Why? Because Bitcoin is literally a technology that is made to create a purchasing power increase. And that is, people say, as technology number go up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, good stuff, everybody. Let me see.
Hey, Lamar.
Yeah, go ahead, Justin.
Can we talk about that fiat joint? Because we got like 100,000 people here. I mean, as members or followers, you got 200 on set. I just want to say something because it's been in my DM too. A lot of people said, "Man, you think I should hop in Ethereum, bro? I'm losing money, and I feel like I'm losing the Bitcoin." And I really one thing I started saying to people is like, listen, I want you to understand this. Everybody increases in value in fiat here, right? Most of the time you can, especially when you look at what's taking place in the world. You're in the bull market. They're pumping out trillions of dollars in cash. So people can place money anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can place money anywhere and you might see something happen. However, it's like you said before, it's all about properties and principles. Number one, I saw a guy online He's pretty popular. I'm not gonna say his name. Follow me on Twitter. At times I do go at big name people just because I feel like you can't spit ignorance of Bitcoin to people. But that's another topic. But he said, hodl these coins here. I'm like, yo, what about these coins are you telling people to hodl them for? Because one of them, Litecoin, their creator sold it for Bitcoin. So why are you telling people to hold this? You know what I'm saying? So, and what I've started to learn since being in Black Bitcoin Billionaires to Lamar, Miss Naj, and other people, you're right. People don't give a damn about why something works. They just see the value go up, and they think, okay, well, fiat is good, so I'm good. But you don't really understand. Like, you're going right back into a burning house. So I think Ryan touched on it earlier. People don't look at those deep numbers. They don't look at those numbers. They just look at the numbers of going up and down, and they want to get burned later. Which is why I feel like we're at the point in time now, like, hey, just let them get burned and pick up what you can as they're getting burned. I know it sounds kind of cutthroat, but I mean, I feel like that's the reality that I had to learn, and most people end up learning while they're in this space.
Yeah, man, to jump on the back of what Justin's saying with those influencers and celebrities, I literally put a tweet up the other day and was like, stop following celebrities. They're not leading you, they're using you. Like, you got to think about the motivation that these people have behind pumping these other coins that have no properties and principles that back why they should increase in value. So it's like, you be leery of who you're taking your education from, because some people, they're just they're looking to exploit you.
And be mindful, most importantly, of when they got in, because their risk management or risk to reward ratio could be so much less than yours, right? I know some people that got into the coin that we are talking about when it was less than a penny. So for every penny, if we just make things easy, their reward goes up 100%. And here you are buying at 60, 70 cents, which would take you the equivalent amount, 60 or 70 cents, which was like $1.20, $1.40 for its overall price, for you to make that same 100%. And during that time, they've made 60,000%, right, in that jump, or whatever the case may be. So you have to be mindful of, why are they saying this? What is their motivation? And do they hold any? And if they do, when did they get in? Because the narrative can quickly change. The risk to them, they wouldn't care if it fell back 50, 60, 70%, because they would still be up 200% or 2,000%. But what about you? You've now lost everything, and now you feel like, oh, this is a scam. You've been jaded. So we always have to take a step back, just look and think and say, hey, does this make sense for me? Does this make sense for me? Back to you, Madam Charlene.
And wait, and Ryan, like that's the thing. Like, when I tell people, I don't like saying the word "tell" to adults. When I share with people, about Bitcoin's properties, right? And they're like, oh man, well, I just bought it at this price and I'm losing. And it's like, yo, it's not a loss when you know the value of the coin. It's not a loss when you only, like I tell people all the time, you only lose Bitcoin if you lose your private keys or you sell your Bitcoin. Like, the price of Bitcoin going down is not a loss because of the currency of what Bitcoin provides. But other you're just now seeing, I guess, regular human nature with everything. Oh, well, it's just like it's kind of like how people believe dating and being married is the same thing. They think that, well, I got Bitcoin and Doge, but I can hodl Doge. It's all the same. It's not all the same. Like, dating someone and being in the dating scene is not the same as being married. So it's really, to my mind, it's like, how do you bridge that to people and help them see, like, hey, these things can actually backfire on you.
Yeah, yesterday on Twitter, I had a conversation with the young man. He was talking about, he and I got into like a little argument on Twitter. You know how Twitter is. And he was like, look, I don't have any more characters for Twitter. Let's jump on a debate. And we wind up debating free markets versus regulations for the small guy. And I'm bringing this up because his whole point was about what Elon did. He thinks that people like Elon shouldn't be able to say things about certain coins or certain assets in the public market because they manipulate markets with their voice. And I said my argument was the only way markets can be manipulated if people are listening to this dude. And so I said, in a free market, you got to let things happen like they're supposed to happen. Because if people get hurt and people get hit, that's the way they're going to wind up learning. We call it tuition around here. That's the thing. There's enough information out here for people not to fall into traps by celebrities. There's enough information out here for people to understand, like, they shouldn't probably go invest in certain things. That's the part we have to get down to, because here's the biggest problem with all of it, right? If we don't teach people to be accountable, if we don't teach people to be responsible, it doesn't matter if you put regulations in or not. People will still be gamed because they'll be led about by their own desires. So the thing is that what we do here at the Black Bitcoin Billionaires, we try to educate people. And here's the thing. We believe everybody's their own person. Like everybody's grown. You make your own decisions. We just want to give you enough information so that you can make the decisions based on that information and not based on the fact that you just following what somebody else said. Even us. Don't even follow what we said. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing, you guys. We got to realize that's what self-sovereignty is about. That's what this whole generational wealth thing is about. It's about putting enough information into your mind so that you can make decisions based on that information and not based on somebody else telling you what to do. And once we get to that, none of this won't even matter to most of the people, because all they'll do is they'll look at it and be like, oh, there goes Elon acting a fool again. Period.
You know what I think, though? Oh,
No, I was going to say you're absolutely right, and we need to stick and stand by what we believe and what we know is going to affect change in our communities. And, you know, case in point, we're talking about celebrities and people following celebrities. We're working on an NFT project, and, you know, they told me in order to come to a call, I needed to apologize to Snoop for something I said on Instagram, and I'm standing by that. Apologize to him for what? I said, shame on Elon Musk, and, you know, to Snoop. You know, we love you, but we don't appreciate you taking our people through this bait and switch. And, you know, it's real. And we just got to stand behind that. And no matter who they are, if they're harming our community, it is time for us to stick up and stay up and say what we need to say, regardless of what or who, you know, it may offend. And that's just, I'm just keeping it 100. You all need to stop listening to them, because just like the brother said, that is 100% correct. They are not doing what's good for you. They're doing what's good for them, and they're following and their endorsements. And so you need to be aware of that.
Yeah, with more freedom comes more responsibility, and we shouldn't be paying attention to people, especially like a Snoop Dogg. I mean, I love Snoop Dogg. I listen to the music, but you shouldn't just act on what he says. He's been telling us to smoke weed every day for 20 years. Doesn't mean that we should necessarily do it.
I mean, that
you know what I mean? He's a rapper. Like, why we listen to rappers who to other people who smoke every day, who do illegal stuff, who promote a lot of that stuff? You know, that it might be good for entertainment, but that should be for entertainment purposes, not for financial advice.
It's kind of like Bitcoin Zay said, man. Josh and Reddy do not go listen to Eminem for financial advice.
That part.
They don't.
But I mean, with us, though, with the culture, though, right? With the culture, right? There, and I mean, beyond the culture, right? Because this isn't just a black problem. This is a human nature problem. Is that we feel like when people get to a certain status, when they get celebrity, when they get money, that they are experts in every field, because some way, somehow we conflate the fact that they may have made money somewhere else. We're saying, oh yeah, well, it makes sense for them to know about this. It really doesn't. It really doesn't, right? We have to take a pause and say that just because someone has money, that does not make them an expert, because there's a lot of people that do not have the education or the resources that we are sharing. They may have more money, but they're doing that maybe because money was gifted to them or inherited, right? You don't know. So it's just like one of those things where we put so much emphasis on celebrity. We put so much emphasis on, oh, this person is a multimillionaire. They must know something that we don't know. So they're putting us on, when the only thing that they're really doing is putting us down. And Lamar or Justin or whomever, you know, CJ, Regal, Quavo, if he was in here, somebody need to reach out to Meek Mills. Ring that brother in, because he's out here making all these moves, and the blind is really leading the blind. And it's dangerous and disastrous for our community, right? Because FOMO, again, fear of missing out, is one of the greatest things that will cause you to lose and not necessarily win. So, again, it's really about, in this space, verifying, not trusting, but verifying, right? And always being intentional with what you're doing. Right? So let's just keep it that way.
I mean, I reach out to these folks a lot. I don't think I do it in the best way, though. I let them. I might not do it in the best way, but hey, I call them. Listen, I'm on Twitter for calling out Roland Martin, this dude 19 Keys, all of them people, man, because it's like, yo, you're using your influence in the wrong way, and it's the same cycle. Like, yo, it's the same cycle of bullshit. Like, and here's the thing that makes it so bad. Your whole career has not been known for this. Like, you're not known for bringing wealth. You're known for trapping. You're known for bringing an image that promotes being on the fence. Like, you promote an image that brings, like, that's why you know, even with when I look at people, it's like, you know, hey, we applaud you for your growth, but you took us through hell just to get to your growth. You know, like, we're the people whose whole career has been growth. You know what I mean? Whose whole career has been, you know, focusing on bringing about a mission that works. It's everybody out there is like, when you look at this crypto stuff, you really realize how goofy people truly are. And they already have money. They're just goofy as hell. They don't really have no agenda. And like Ryan was saying, even like when these coins or these companies or these people want to ride off a hype and hope, that's the same thing the celebrities are doing. So Najee isn't wrong for telling Snoop and Elon, like, you know, y'all some dorks for real. Like, yeah, you've done a good job of hee and ha-ha, but when it comes down to it, we've paid money to watch you act the fool, and we haven't got nothing back for it.
You know, what's funny is we talked about Meek Mill, last week. He put in that $50K. I wonder how he feels now because he's down 20 cents on whatever that value is.
But I mean,
that's not funny, man. Hey, hold on, real quick. Hold on,
What's up, man?
Here's the thing, man. We gotta make sure we are not, because that's the thing I told Black Regal. Black Regal said, was it you, Black Regal, that said you saw somebody put the 401k in the Doge?
Oh yeah, they put the whole joint in there at 70, 60 cent, something like
70
that.
70 or 60 cent. This gentleman took his entire 401k and put it in the Doge, and swiftly lost what, 40%, 30-40%. So this is what I want to say though. Like, I'm gonna just say, this is me personally. I don't want to laugh at someone losing that kind of money. To me, it's very sad, right? It's a very sad situation that somebody just decided to make that bet. At the same time, he's a grown man. If that's the bet he made, he got to live with the consequences and pay his tuition. He's graduating. You understand what I'm saying? If it never,
you got a degree from crypto college, man.
Yeah, you got a degree from crypto college. And to be honest, who knows when he'll ever get to that point where it comes back? Because the problem is that once you do that and make a big bet like that and you get down big, the only thing you do is you start holding on and saying, you know what, I'm going to make it back. I'm going to make it back. I'm going to make it back. And then it might go back up to where you made some money, but then all of a sudden you're like, oh, it came back. Maybe it'll go a little bit bigger and exactly what I thought was going to happen. And then it drops again. And you wind up having to hold on and hold on and hold on in an asset that definitely doesn't have the same value as the asset that it is chasing. So the whole thing we have to realize is we can't laugh. You know what I'm saying? It's somewhat like crazy. I think we laugh almost out of like nervousness, like, man, you know what I mean? Like, I can't believe this, man. This dude put that much in it. But at the same time, we have to realize that we are in a world of people who are not completely educated up on this subject. And that's the reason why we have to push harder and harder and get people to share this Genesis block and come into the Black Bitcoin Billionaires, all the Android people. Now anybody can come to Clubhouse right now, and it is wide open. Make sure y'all come into Clubhouse, find Black Bitcoin Billionaire. We're going to give it to you real and raw. This is the reason why we have to do that, because gentlemen taking their 401k and putting it directly in, man. But here's the thing, like I said, they grown. That bet might pay off. If it does, I'm happy for him. I told Regal, I said, I want Doge to get to $1 and hopefully that dude cashes out. I want Doge to get all the way to $1 and hopefully he cashes out, because I don't want nobody getting hurt like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just think
Go ahead, Miss Naja and Miss Charlene. Yeah, we would love to have some more women glasses.
I'll go after her.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I think those stories are so heartbreaking, and I think that they happen more often than not. I mean, I think I hope that people realize that if you buy Doge, you are literally at the casino. Like, you're at the table, you're rolling the dice, and you're hoping things are going to work out. And I just, our community, we can't afford to take those chances. Folks are so financially fragile as it is. We cannot afford to roll the dice and hope for the best. And that's why it's so important for people to get the fundamentals. And if you're in this room, like, we don't want you to take chances with your financial life. Get the information and start to build good, solid financial habits so that you can plan for the long term. We're not talking about short term. We're talking about long-term generational wealth. And I just think that's the mindset that we have to encourage people to adopt. We're not trying to get rich quick. You actually get rich slowly. And it requires planning and time and informed decisions. And that's a muscle that many folks in our community have yet to build. Just because of history and where we've been as a community from a financial standpoint. Go ahead, Ms. Naja.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, because I know I shared in another room, but since everybody is listening, on Saturday, I was at Jay Morrison's Black House, and we had a really good showing out there. And after the event, a well-dressed sister came up to me. She almost looked like she was going to cry. She was shaking a little bit. And she said that just this last Thursday, she invested over $60,000. She had a lot of her friends who had money invest in Dogecoin just because she told them to. And then she had her adult children at that event as well, and they had all invested. And, she was asking me what should she do, how should she do it, and of course I told her I can't provide any financial advice. And she said, well, I was told that it'll be going to $1 over the weekend. And I'm telling y'all, this was Saturday. And then what happened on Saturday Night Live on Saturday night, I literally I got goosebumps just thinking about her face and how she was feeling when it was at 77 cents talking to me that day in that parking lot. And I am just, those are the stories that absolutely just, I don't even know what to say, make you want to choke somebody out, because our community is taking this stuff to heart. They don't understand anything about cryptocurrency, and they are going all in because they're thinking that this is going to be their get rich quick and get out of this thing. And I'm talking this lady, and you can't tell by how people are dressed, but it looks like, she's educated, has had a very nice job or whatever the case is. And here it is, she's gambled, and unfortunately, this is gonna resound across our community everywhere, because all down south, that's all people are talking about is Dogecoin, and we just got to keep educating and keep planting seed, and $60,000-$70,000, but she didn't lose all of it, but that is a huge tuition to be paying right now at this late in the game in people's lives. And so we just ask each and every one of you, again, don't take our financial advice or anything, just listen and get educated and understand how these things work. We have been here. We've been here. Most of us went through this thing in 2017. We are seeing the exact same thing happen to you all that happened to us already. We're not hating. And that's one of the things Jay Morrison said when he came up to speak at the event with me, is he was getting all these messages on his Instagram while he was live streaming me. People were saying I'm hating. I'm not hating. I want everybody to understand that this game, or some of these games you're getting involved in, are not designed for us to win in them. It's designed for them to get their pockets fatter. And so just be aware. We love y'all. We hope that we hope that you all are taking heed to this, because a lot of us would be up a whole lot more had we even had somebody to tell us half of the stuff that's being told to you right now on a daily basis. So that's it. I just wanted to share that.
Hey, Miss, can I ask a question?
My wife was on Jay's stream, just to piggyback off Naja. My wife was on Jay's stream, and it was some real ignorant stuff coming across that stream. And they were saying like you were hating, and she was in there battling those folks, man, because they just didn't understand. And I think because we talked about Lamar spoke on this earlier, there's a lot of information out there, But the thing is, there's so much information, it's difficult to sift through it all, you know? And I think that's one of our issues. Like we don't have you know, people that we can go to and say, hey, you know, what do you think about this? Is this true? Because some information is just, you know, it's just noise, you know, and the other information is the signal. But you have a very difficult time separating the signal from the noise. So if you don't understand like how to sift that information, you need to find, you know, resources that are validated, right? So I think the Black Bitcoin Billionaires is one of those resources. So if you have questions about something that you've come across, you know, I say bring it to us, man, because, you know, we're here to help the people, and we just want to see everybody come up. We don't want to see people, you know, taking what we call lessons or taking L's. We don't want to see that. We want you to learn from lessons that we've already learned.
Listen, you know, one of the things I think we have to do, man, is we have to start teaching people how to research credibility. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if we were going to get a heart transplant or something, right, we wouldn't just go to some random dude on the street corner. We wouldn't even listen to the dudes at the barbershop. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Lamar, that's what I was going to ask. Why do we do that? Why do we get caught up?
It's not just us.
It's not just us.
Here's the whole thing. I'm going to just say this, though, because this is the thing that keeps getting thrown around. It's like, we like our community is the one that's doing this. No, everybody is. Like, our community is not the one that pumped Doge to where it was. It was a lot of people. There was a lot of money in that market. It's probably $17 billion trading volume. That was on one day. There was more trading volume in Doge than there was in Bitcoin. And let me tell you something.
Can I clarify what I mean, Lamar?
Yeah, go ahead.
Understand where I'm going.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just so you can clarify. So let me. I'm sorry about that because I didn't put that the right way. I understand why some folks may have taken risk in some communities because I watched the guy who happened to be a Caucasian guy talk about how he became a Doge millionaire, right? And this guy talks about how he was going to hold it till thing. I listened to his whole video because I wanted to see what was going on out there. What baffled me though was how did our community even get to? I had people who never been to Bitcoin, nothing, calling me like crazy. And my standard response was this. First of all, I explained what it was. It's a meme coin, that kind of thing. It doesn't have any real intrinsic value, that kind of thing. There are people who are beginning to use it out there. I said, listen, whatever you do, it is extremely risky. Just use money, act like you're going to the casino. That's basically was my response. So that way, I at least knew I informed people, and I think we all should. I'm sure we all did the same thing because I'm sure everybody had people calling them. But I think what surprised me, I'm being honest, is how many of our folks had jumped, how this word had spread that fast with our folks, because I didn't see a frame of reference. I'll take it back. Meek Mill did say that publicly, so maybe that was part of it. So I'll take it back. So maybe that was it. Because he was like, I don't want to miss that. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Gray, it's the price, though, man. It's the price, man. It's the price, man. It's the price. It's the price. They gonna come, like, this is why a few months ago it was like, man, yo, $1 gets you like 12,000 satoshis, right? And now if you look on Twitter, you know, folks in other rooms are trying to run with the Satoshi standard we put out, but that's another conversation. But it's the price, man. Every black person I know, man, I can't afford $57,000 for Bitcoin. They don't even know. They do not know. Like, they're looking. It's like this. I swipe with the phone. Doge is $1. Doge is 50 cents. Ethereum is $4,000. I can afford both of those. Bitcoin, $50,000. I can't afford that. They don't really. There's nowhere on the phone that says, "Hey, you can buy more." I mean, you can buy $10 of Bitcoin. Like that. That's a reality that's not there for our people. So we gonna look at the first thing we see. Ooh, that's 50 cents, and it's going up.
Justin, that's huge. We've been talking about that, right?
Yeah,
and it's funny. We see what's going on too. Like in this room, we had a thing that we did that tried to show how unit bias could get people messed up. We actually pumped the heck out of Bitcoin, like regular old Bitcoin. We just called it something different and gave the value of it in Satoshis. And we had one of the biggest rooms we've ever done on Clubhouse. and the most frantic, and everybody was going after it. This is what I want everybody out there to understand, just real quick, right? That when somebody gets on one of these coins and it goes up 20-30% in a day, they're going to tell you that because they feel like a genius. They feel like they caught something early. You understand what I'm saying? That's what they're going to tell you. Hey, I came up. I made this money really quickly. And then they're going to tell you it's going to the moon. But what you don't know is, and if you don't educate yourself, you don't know that you just latched yourself to a bottle rocket, not an actual rocket that can go to the moon. And so that bottle rocket, it goes up and everybody can tell you it went up real fast, real high. And then guess what? It explodes in the sky. And then it comes tumbling back down. And then instead of you realizing you need to get your ticket on the actual rocket that's going to the moon, you try to go find another bottle rocket. I don't even know. Do y'all know what bottle rockets are? The little bottle rockets you shoot off?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so people are out here literally looking for bottle rockets because they go up in the sky. Not because they go to the moon, but because they go towards the moon. And when they go towards the moon, you don't realize that it don't even have enough fuel to get you all the way there. And that's why we need more education. Because like Justin said...
Go ahead, preacher.
No, I'm just saying. It's a whole lot easier for you to light and ignite a bottle rocket than it is for you to go build an actual rocket that can make it all the way to the moon. So everybody rather put their money in something that's small because they can take that little bit of money and ignite that bottle rocket and feel real good when it goes up and maybe get a couple more people on it so they can push it up a little bit further, ignite it a little bit more. But the problem is when it comes tumbling down or when it doesn't get to what you think it's supposed to get to, that's when you run into the issue. So
but it's also marketing. Like it's not just the price.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was marketing, and Lamar, this is one of the only times I think I've disagreed with you on the fact that it wasn't just our people. Well, you're right. It wasn't just our people, but I think per the amount of money that went in, it was mostly our people.
No, ma'am. I can't say that.
Let me tell you. Well, wait. Let me tell you this. So let's talk about the one sister at the park. She named about 20 people that she's got to invest. And if they all took, well, not all of them took $60,000 like she did, but even if they just all took their $1,200 stimulus check, and we got this going on across all the way across America, yes. They figured out how to siphon all that money out of our community. And they did a darn good job because everybody I'm talking to has gotten on social media and told at least 10 to 15 of their friends who told 10 to 15 of their friends. And if you start to look at that spider web, it is tremendous.
Well, Ms.
It is tremendous.
Ms. Naja, I'm going to push back on that because here's the thing. The same thing is happening in every community. Like I was in a room the other day on, I was in like a Doge thing on Twitter Spaces. Majority of the people in there were not black. Oh Lord! Majority of the people in there were not black people. Miss Naja.
She got to feed her elephant.
Majority of the people.
Sorry, y'all. I told y'all I was at the laundromat trying to get back on this RV, so I'm sorry. But go
ahead. But the majority of the people that were in there were not black people. You see what I'm saying? It was $17 billion volume trading over the last few days. It's like that right there is not all of us. What I'm saying is that yes, we got caught up in it. You know what I'm saying? And yes, the problem is that many people's introduction into cryptocurrency might have been that. You feel me? But I don't think it was mostly our people. Like I can't believe that. Even here on Clubhouse, if you went into the Doge rooms on Clubhouse, it wasn't mostly us. Like real talk.
That's because they got androids. I'm telling you.
It's the same.
And they
thing.
bought at 5 cents.
It's the same reason. Like back in the day, I grew up thinking orange Kool-Aid was like real orange juice. You know what I'm saying? It was cheaper. It tasted good. You know, and that's like Sunny D. When Sunny D came out, everybody
talking about Tang? You talking about Tang?
No, I'm thinking about. Well, okay.
He said orange Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Like I had little orange Kool-Aid packs, 10 cents down at the store,
But yeah, go ahead. I heard somebody say Lamar. Who said?
Yes, that was me. I just wanted to say something right quick if I could.
Yeah, go ahead, Cash.
Okay, so I had said this before, and I think it may, kind of went, past, but I think it's very important to this whole discussion is that what we're witnessing with blockchain again is just psychology, right? So what the sister is saying is, when she says a lot of us get caught up in it, right, it goes back to what is the culture of us. We're consumers highly, so we get caught up in that all the time. We get caught up in trying to make a quick buck a lot of times because it's just part of the psychology that's prevalent in our culture. So I think she's right if we're going to go by the demographic proportionality of it affecting us. But I think the causation is not necessarily the marketing, right? It just goes back to the psychology. So, I mean, I can tell this is a very conservative group, and conservative is going to win in the end. I'm a big Bitcoin fan. I know over time some people may start referring me as the XRP guy because I did a lot of research and benefited from that as well. But I would just say this at the end of the day. We have to look at this in a more holistic perspective, right? So for me, Bitcoin is, and I said this before, creating a level playing field where people are being properly compensated for the work that they're doing and whatever that they do as a job or business or whatever, right? We never had that dynamics because the central banks would adjust the interest rates and use all of their little tricks, right, to take money out of supply, inject more money into the supply. They were doing the same thing with the stock market. They do it the same thing with politics, whether it's minimum wage, right, and all of this, right? It's all a big game. So what Bitcoin is really created for me, right, is this environment where now I can, for the first time, get fair value for my labor if I convert whatever they're giving me into Bitcoin, right? So that's the way that I view it, right? And if we get away from even viewing Bitcoin as a profit or any of these altcoins as a profit and just look at the fact that I need to be trading this lower value stuff that they're giving away now for labor and converting it into Bitcoin so that I can get true fair market value for my labor, I think we could change the whole conversation, right? Because again, it's not about profit at the end of the day. And if you're really on a strategy of dollar cost and average a portion of that labor or what you're earning from your business into Bitcoin, then that means you're probably at maybe a conservative 5%, maybe a more conservative 15%, maybe 40%, whatever your risk tolerance is, right? But you're still going to have 60% of your money that you're doing other things with, right? So if Meek Mill is at 20% and 20% is going into Bitcoin like it should be, but he likes to buy Dom Perignon and he wants this fancy watch and he wants some Doge, then who cares, right? Because he's going to do all of those different things with his money that at the end of the day, all of it came at the opportunity cost of Bitcoin, right? So I think the main people that don't need to be distracted by altcoins is kind of sometimes the Bitcoin community. Don't have too much conversation about it at the end of the day of just getting to the very principle that no matter what you're doing, you better at least have your market strategy of taking something off the table and putting it into Bitcoin for the very reason why Bitcoin should exist. Because now you're able to get fair market value for your labor, unlike any other time in history. So that's just my perception of it, and I thank y'all for letting me say that.
What you doing on stage, man? Who brought you up here? Now, what's up, man? It's my dude Cash to everybody. Like he works with me every day, man, on at Sunjoin. So yeah, man, thanks Cash for that. But yeah, Miss Naja, here's my question. I know you out on the road, right? So I know you feeling it, and I know most people are coming. This is the thing that these are the times when people like us on this stage have to fight back even harder, because especially when you done told your in-laws and your family and your friend, watch out for Doge, it's rough, and then their friends on the other side of the family done made a couple $100,000 or on paper made a couple $100,000, and they telling them like, why ain't you get into Doge? Well, Lamar told me that Doge is kind of rough and it's not it's not secure and da for the long run. And they're like, well, shoot, he told you wrong. And then what happens? Then now you getting cussed out in your DMs like, why ain't you tell me Doge was going to do this? Like we all Cleo or something. Like we knew Elon was going to do it. So I think now is the time we have to fight back harder with actual correct information. You know what I'm saying? Like I think this is the time for us to give correct information. You know what I mean?
Lamar, if I can quickly say, right, I don't, based upon perspective, right, we have to meet people where they are. Correct information matters not if they can't see it. So to me, the correct information shifts from, oh, you got this quick money, you just hit you hit the lotto, to, all right, cool, y'all know that over the course of a year, 2 years, within 3 years, all those people that made it big, they wind up being back at square one. So, all right, now that you made all of this money, what are you really going to do to make sure that you keep it? And let me show you, right? Do they even have that mindset? Or, hey, shoot, they haven't even talked about taxes yet, CJ, right? How much people are really saying, hey, I need to put 30% to the side, or I need to put 40% to the side, out of this. So this 100,000 that I really made is only worth $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 max, right? Like, and being strategic about it, because shoot, ain't nobody gonna hate on you making profit, but at the same time, we want to make sure through love that you actually keep it and use it and not spend it all. Because if you do that, then what do you really have? What do you really have? So I can't talk to you about the technology when you don't care about it, but I can be like, yo, you got this bread now. Like, what's the plan after this? What's the plan after this? And it just can't be, oh, let me go find the next bean coin, or let me go find this. So I'm gonna try to flip this, because how many people have flipped it in half, in quarters, right? And still got to pay taxes on it. So that's the approach that I would think that is most helpful. And then once they start to see the way, then it's just like, all right, cool. Here's really what you want to focus on now, because this is where it's really at versus X, Y, and Z. So it's just like a little paradigm shift. This is Ryan. I'm done speaking.
Joel and Ryan, both of you perhaps said the most profound thing, and that is talking about the necessity for our people to be educated on wealth and strategy, and what does that mean to have a plan? Because that's kind of really what we're talking about. A Greg putting a couple of dollars on Doge, if he chooses to, is very different than the people that called me this weekend who have zero financial plan, have no concept, and are trying to get the quick win. I doubled some coins, right? Took the money out and was fine. Because I had a strategy. I said, if I get to this certain percentage, I'm out. It didn't matter if the coin went up 100,000%. And I think that is perhaps why this platform is so critical, because we are educating people on different areas of not only to get this piece of wealth, but also why is it so important for the future, and why is it so important for you to have a strategy outside of, as Joel said, being a consumer, who we know traditionally we have been consumers, the biggest ones.
So Greg, you bought Doge, man?
I had Doge for 2-3 years, bro.
Dang.
2-3 years.
Hey, tell him get his hand out your pocket, Greg. Tell him get his hand out your pocket.
All over my business.
I'm just joking.
But that's a different conversation, though. That's a different conversation than telling people not to buy Doge and telling people what to do with Doge, or any other altcoin.
No, but
right, and I'm saying that conversation is the most critical conversation. We really, as we're telling people, this is why we're telling you get Bitcoin, is because we're talking about the future. We're talking about your ability to build wealth. That's the conversation. Talking to a CJ, how do we do this? How do we maneuver through not only having a plan, executing that plan, but making sure we pass that plan down to our generations. My daughter she came to me. She was about to put some money into a bank account. I explained why I personally thought it would be good to put it into Bitcoin. She did that. She has seen the results of doing that, and she gets so excited. Every time she sees it, it's like, wow, Dad, I can't believe it. And that gives me an opportunity to explain, why is this beneficial? You leave it in the long term. When she talks about she needs money, she's not talking about going to taking it out of her Bitcoin account. She's saying, no, I can't touch that because I know that's going to grow. So just see, I'm changing mindsets, and that's what we all have to be thinking like, is how do we change our community? Otherwise, we're really going to be dealing with our community not having any type of assets, because it's going to be gone. We got a bad enough problem dealing with transferring wealth, let alone getting wealth. So I think we have to all have these mindsets where we're literally preaching financial education, and here's the context. It's a great context. Everybody's pumped over Bitcoin. We use that as our vehicle to really ultimately get our people to that next level.
And I agree with you, Greg, but I think it really starts with what Lamar said, was, who do you listen to for financial advice? we have got to start being more discriminating around who we are taking this financial advice from. A lot of these people they're not licensed to provide investment advice. They have not gone to school, and some of them haven't really been in this space for a long time. So they don't even have receipts of success. So I think we want our community to be a lot more discriminating about who they listen to. Celebrities, they just don't qualify. Just because you had money and you were successful in one area, it doesn't mean that you're an expert in another area. And we've just got to be so much more discriminating and asking people, like, what makes you qualified to give me this advice? Have you been in the space for several years? Have you been training people? Have you worked in the space? I mean, we have to be discriminating, and we have to encourage our community to start asking those questions so that we can identify those folks that are being opportunistic and deciding to Bitcoin Vegan's point, deciding that because they were great at stocks, they can use that same investment thesis and those same techniques in crypto, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't compute. It's a completely different asset class, and you can't use the same strategies and methods in stocks and crypto. And most people won't admit that. In fact, one more thing, many financial advisors won't admit that either. And your average financial advisor has no clue. In fact, I talked to a friend who works for JP Morgan Chase. He's a wealth manager. He had to sign a document to say that not only can he not hold crypto, he can't advise on crypto. So he was like, hey, this is a scam. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So we had a back and forth. So there's no economic incentive for him to be pro crypto. Therefore, he poo-poos it, just like a lot of financial advisors. So you really have to think about, like, what is the person that's speaking to me? What is their economic incentive to share this information? Did they buy it 0.0001? And are they pumping this coin because they bought really, really low? Or, are they in a space where they were good at one other thing in finance and they decide to just jump over and say, hey, they're good at this because it's new and hot. In our community, we don't ask enough questions. We don't. And we need to ask questions. We need to not trust and always verify every time. And the last thing is that, we have a scammer room, and it is heartbreaking when we hear these stories of our people, trusting these scammers in their Facebook accounts, in their Instagram accounts, and they're taking our money. And 1 penny, if they take 1 penny from you, it's 1 penny too much, because it's your hard-earned money, and you absolutely need to be super discriminating against who you give your information to, and even who you give your money to. So, so that's it. It's Charlene. I'm done speaking. Go ahead, Ryan.
And Madam Charlene, really quickly, what you said was so powerful, right? We need to have people that are knowledgeable in the space, right? Not from the traditional market, not from people that are dealing with derivatives, not from people that have commodity experience. Definitely not some financial advisors, because their whole business model is being like, you're obsolete, right? They're getting money and funds from assets under management, where the whole premise of cryptocurrency is for you to be your own bank, for you to control what is happening, for you to have self-sovereignty and not have to go through a third party. That's why JP Morgan and Chase saying, we're only going to offer right now Bitcoin to our high net worth clients, is clownery, it's buffoonery. They don't need you to give them permission to operate within this space. And that is crazy, right? Just for people to think about that. So it doesn't matter, because we've heard so many TV personalities that have funds and the trust and this, all things set up and doing this, and they have made it real big in the traditional side, and they have zero knowledge of crypto. That's why they spread FUD. That's why they have FOMO. That's why they do all these things of that nature. And please be mindful. I've sat in on some of these clubhouse rooms, and it completely rubs me the wrong way, because we literally have people that have just enough knowledge to be dangerous and deadly. Well, what do you mean by that, Ryan? They will quickly say, and I'm going to name it. They'll quickly say, Doge is just like Bitcoin, because Doge is a fork of Litecoin, and Litecoin is a fork of Bitcoin. So Doge, which I've heard on this app, can be as high as $60,000. Are you crazy? right? And I'm saying that in the most loving way, because one has see it's dangerous because you're now making false equivalencies. Bitcoin has a market, right? A supply cap. It you can look at the total adjustable market cap, right? It is deflationary. You literally have something that creates more, like literally more. 10,000 Doge is more than the 9,000. 10,000 Doge a minute. In 1 minute, they create more Doge than the supply of Bitcoin that comes to the market every day, 900. So what does that mean? Within 1 minute, they've created more than 10 times, if we just being conservative, than the supply of Bitcoin that is coming. So that thing is not true at all. Like, you would literally not have enough money in the entire world, the M1, M2, and M3 money supply, to make that happen. Like, it just won't happen. So we have to be mindful, or it won't happen in the current form. Let me say that, right? If they do a huge token burn and all this other stuff like that and make it super deflationary, then maybe, right? Then maybe something could happen. But under these current circumstances, again, we just have to be mindful. I'm not going to hate on any other rooms, but again, if those people really have no knowledge in crypto at all, please be mindful, right? Please be mindful. Again, verify, right? Do not trust. Verify, do not trust. And we cannot say that enough. I would honestly say, if you're in the Black Bitcoin Billionaires room, you're in the best place for education. And now I would say, arguably one other space, crypto space on this app that you can go to, because they're Bitcoin centric, right? You'll get all the Bitcoin information. You come to us for Bitcoin plus life and everything else. But I'm not going to per se say their names, but all of these other random rooms that are popping up and people having all of these opinions, they're just that. And we know that everybody has an opinion, just like everybody has something else too. So I won't say that part, but yeah, just be mindful. Just be mindful. This is Ryan. Thank you, Madam Charlene, for making that brilliant point. Yeah, go ahead, finish it off, Lamar.
I wanted you to say it. I wanted to say it. We messed it up. We was trying to do it in unity.
We got it. No, we got it. We got it. And I am
done speaking, my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, listen, y'all.
I wanted to unmute my microphone until Ryan says that. Hey, because I know he's going to keep going until he makes that announcement.
You know what time it is, man. Look, here's the thing. Yeah.
Okay. Time to bring the people up.
Listen, everybody, man, we have gone through our first hour of the Genesis block, and actually I'm going to shorten the Genesis block on Mondays to be a 1 hour show, just so it makes it more palatable for those people that are out here on the run. But this is what I want to do, right? We want to talk about how you can support Miss Naja and also support the Black Bitcoin Billionaire, because I just realized on Twitter that somebody is listening to what we're doing, and they understand that they're supposed to be sharing hashtag BBB Genesis block so they can get a chance to win. And what they posted was, you can get your swag on merch.blackbitcoinbillionaire.com. So I want to make sure I'm saying it too. If she's pushing it on, pushing it on Twitter, I'm going to push it too right now, because if you go to merch.blackbitcoinbillionaire.com, that is merch.blackbitcoinbillionaire.com, you can find some very exclusive merchandise that we're selling, that some of the proceeds are going towards Miss Naja and what she's doing with her tour, and some of those proceeds are also going to the Black Bitcoin Billionaires for Miami, so we can all get together into a house or some type of a function so we can come together and have a good time, man. So if you go to merch.blackbitcoinbillionaire.com, you can purchase those shirts and those hats. We're doing pretty good on those sales right now. I love the fact that you guys are supporting. Thank you very much. And also go to blackbitcoinbillionaire.com. If you go to just blackbitcoinbillionaire.com, make sure you sign up, and you can get a lot of these updates that Miss Charlene and Ian and the other writers are putting out there for you on a daily basis. So make sure you go to blackbitcoinbillionaire.com and sign up. And outside of that, and the last thing I forgot, we talked about this earlier. If you are on Android, I know a lot of you all ask in the comments, how can we become a part of it? How can we get in with you guys on Clubhouse? Right now, you can go to joinclubhouse.com/ hold on. I can do mine. Mine's easier. Joinclubhouse.com /@BigMar. that'll bring you directly to Clubhouse. If there's because the thing is, people are like, which one should I download? Well, on that page, if you go to joinclubhouse.com/@BigMar, at the bottom of the page, there is a link. There's an Apple OS, an iOS link, and a Google Play Store link. If you click that one, it'll take you to the right app, and that's joinclubhouse.com/@BigMar, so you guys can get in here and participate directly with the Black Bitcoin Billionaires. So,
hey, you got to spell Big Mar. You got to spell Big Mar.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. At BIGMARH. Again, that's at BIGMARH. Thank you very much, man. Thank you. So listen, everybody raise your hand. You know what time of the show this is. I think we wrapped up really nicely. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, everyone that was up here. Caster, Black Regal, Naja, Granny, Jakumi, Dr. Shaler, Greg. Thank you all and Josh. Who else is up here? Reddy was up here earlier. Toshi, T-Mac, Lawrence. Thank you all for adding your information. Bitcoin Vegan. I know he had a dip. Thank you all for adding all of your information to help these folks make smart decisions in the future. Now we're going to have people come up on stage and ask some questions. So, Miss Queen Naja, it's on to you, sister.
All right, first up to the stage, we have Miss Linda. Miss Linda, welcome.
Hi, thank you guys for having me again. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the conversation in so much great length. And the thing is that I do, and I understand, I recognize we as a people, we have been so eager to want things, but yet we're so lazy at the same time about going out, looking, researching, trying to find the correct information before we actually jump into going to buy a pair of Nikes or an iPhone. So, and one thing I do is I get on here, I look you guys up, I follow you, and I'll get on Instagram and start tweeting and questioning, messaging, just so I can get a feedback. And the ones that I've actually messaged, they have gotten back to me, so that it's really just an easy way to actually enhance your learning and your tools that you need. But the biggest thing with the Black community, we have to have a change in our mindset on how we do things. And that's going to take more than just conversation. It's like to just lay someone out and give them a piece of information is not good enough. They're going to have to be taught how to do it and have to be able to go out and get it for themselves. Otherwise, they're going to constantly make mistakes like Bitcoin. I have a little bit, get in and out, but you have to check the market regularly. You can't just let it sit. You got to see what's going on 24/7. And thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Linda, only one push. Holding is actually the key way to wealth, right? It's the time compound of interest and other things like that. When people get in and get out, they create taxable events. So we don't want people to sell themselves short and then wind up missing out, right? So it's just almost like dollar cost averaging your way through. You generally speaking come out farther ahead, especially since this market is 24/7. So we don't want people per se to sacrifice their time, which is true freedom, trying to sit in front of a screen or have FOMO, right? So that would be my only push, but I agree with everything you said about mindset. This is Ryan. I'm done speaking.
Thank you, Miss Linda, for that. Thank you, and thank you, Ryan. We're going to go back to Facebook or YouTube with Lamar.
Right now on Facebook and YouTube, I have no questions. Plus, I've been letting people kind of get in the middle, Miss Naja, so I think they kind of do it while we talking. Let's see. Yeah, there's no questions. I don't see any questions. Oh, hold on. Lamar, the fundamentals need to be emphasized. The new entrant needs this to be meaningful, to be a meaningful participant. And that's from John. So he's basically saying that we need to basically emphasize the fundamentals of each one of the coins. So that's all I got so far.
All right. Well, next to the stage is Miss Brenda. Miss Brenda, welcome.
Hello. Hi. Thank you so much for letting me speak. I appreciate it so much, all of you here. My question is, I'm a senior who was forced to retire from my job. So now I'm on monthly Social Security. This is all new to me, but I like what I'm hearing. I want to learn not only for myself, but for my family and for my church. So my question is, I haven't heard so far. I've only been twice, the other day. How do I educate myself? Where do I get materials from you to learn how to begin to educate myself so I can educate my adult sons and my nieces and nephews down the line. Where do I start?
Ms. Brenda.
Oh, I'm sorry. One more quick thing I want to add. I didn't get the second stimulus check, $600. When I get that, I don't know how to put in Bitcoin because I don't know anything. So my question is, I can take that and begin to purchase something to educate myself, whatever you have to offer. So that's why I'm here today. Thank you so much for it, and I'll just listen now. Thank you.
Okay, here's the thing. Ms. Brenda, if you go to blackbitcoinbillionaire.com, Bitcoin Zay has provided Bitcoin in Black America for free to all of our members. So if you go to blackbitcoinbillionaire.com, you can go sign up there, and there is a post that allows you to get the book for free. So that's one way you can do it, and you can pass that out to whoever you need to, because he definitely wants to get that knowledge spread. His version 1 of that book is pretty much a cryptocurrency bestseller. Also, the other way you can get more information, you can come into these rooms every day at 6 a.m. We have Wake Up with Bitcoin. I think Dr. Shiller changed it to something else, but she'll be there. And then every afternoon at 3, from 3 to 5, you'll find Miss Naja and Queen Naja and Fred Brandon. And they'll be in a room called Crypto Virgin Hours. Both of those will allow you to not only ask questions, but listen to questions being asked. That'll help you a lot. There's another book called The Bitcoin Standard, and the 2 books, The Bitcoin Standard and The Little Bitcoin Book. Those are 2 good books as well that you can read to get yourself up to speed on what's going on in the space. Now, the one thing I want to do, Ms. Brenda, do you have Cash App?
Yes, sir. I just did. I just learned how to do it, so I think I did it right. Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you have Cash App, what I want you to do is I want you to can you give me your cash tag?
Let me see how I find it. Okay, so I went back to my setting here. Okay, is this the one that says dollar?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, capital P, Miller, MILLER, Martin, capital MARTIN, $B, Miller Martin, but capital B and capital MM, with the Miller Martin.
Okay, let me see. Brenda Martin?
Yes, sir. Brenda Miller Martin. That's me.
All right, I got
I'm probably the senior on here, but I'm the senior citizen here when I learned this.
Oh, no worries. I'm going to give you your first Bitcoin right now. On behalf of the Black Bitcoin.
Oh, my God, Jesus. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
That's all right.
Oh, my God.
On behalf of the Black Bitcoin Billionaires. So I'm going to give you. So this is what I'm going to do, okay, Miss Brenda? I'm going to send you some coins right now. All right? Oh. Don't do that.
Thank you, sir.
Man, okay, hold on. Let me get myself together. Lord, hold on.
Y'all about to have a whole crying session on the stage. It's all right.
The hand raising.
Oh, goodness.
It's popping.
Do we need to get more Satoshis up to her? Is that going to make her?
Can
we give her more?
I am so sorry, y'all. Like, goodness, hold on. I gotta get myself together. It's tearing me up.
It's the onions, Lamar.
Man, I love onions. It's just something about gratitude, man. Like, it's something about people actually being grateful. She don't even know I could be sending her 10 cents.
How about that?
You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's the gratitude, man. Like, that's what's hit me. It's like everybody ain't grateful. Like,
Miss Brenda, what city are you in?
That's a heck of a trait, boy. Goodness.
I'm done. So it's the Chicago area, but right, it's called Oak Park, Illinois, right outside Chicago.
You in Chicago? I'm coming. I'm coming to see you. I'm coming to see you, Miss Brenda. I'm coming to see you in Chicago. So we need to. I'm gonna try to touch bases with you so we can come see you and get you going on some education too. Because Lamar has a course while he's doing that. Since you got your pen and paper, we gonna get you straight.
Miss Brenda, this is what I want you to do.
I can't say anything except thank you, because you know what I have been praying. And people say, don't pray, just do something, get action. But I said, God, put the people in my life who can help, because I don't know this. It's been so much. I have always given, always been a tither. I taught children in the in the prison system. I taught incarcerated juveniles until I was forced to retire because of illness.
No, I'm trying to get through.
Now I'm trying to get back on my feet so I can help myself get off Social Security, monthly Social Security check. So I'm saying, but I need to learn how to do this. So you all have no idea. Since 2016, you have no idea the struggles. But I have a positive outlook. I know there's so much more I can do and can do and will be with the right people mentoring, guiding, helping me. So coaching me, showing me the ropes. You have no idea. I am grateful. I just want you to know I'm not too proud to say I'm grateful. I'm thankful. I have no shame in my game, as they say. People say I'm 69. I'll be 70 in August 3rd. So I don't mind. I'm an open book. My life is an open book.
Miss Brenda,
thank you, everybody.
I want to make sure that you can accept it, because when it's your first time getting them inside the Cash App, you got to accept them first. So go over to on your Cash App. You're in your Cash App, right? At the bottom, there's a little icon that looks like a clock. Do you see that? It's the very last icon.
On my phone, on my phone.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Click that icon.
Some keep ringing on my phone saying Cash App from 833417. Who is that?
Yes. Oh, that might be them calling, but don't worry about that right now.
Okay.
Try to just click on that accept. Do you see the accept?
No, sir. Let me go to.
Yeah, go to that clock at the end.
Oh, Jesus, help me with this. So, I'm back to my page. Then I see where my.
Yes, ma'am. At the very bottom, you see the clock on the side, like at the bottom. It looks like a clock icon.
Sir, I don't see I don't see a clock. I don't see.
Okay, so the first one is $1. Then you see like a square. You see $1 in the middle, like a little icon at the bottom of the application. It looks like a $sign. You see that?
Only thing I see is where I had put my information, my bio. That's where I am now.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, well, click on. You see the $1 at the bottom? Go to the very bottom of your application. You see that? You see that $sign?
When I clicked on it, it say update your bio. Done. Am I in the right place?
No. I think. Are you in Cash App? Are you in Cash App, Miss Brenda?
Yeah. In the Cash App, Miss Brenda.
So how do I get the Cash App then? Back on my computer, on my phone.
On your phone.
Sir, I guess I don't know how to do it then.
Hey, I might be able to help. Hey, Brenda, do you have a iPhone or Android?
I'm on an iPhone 10R.
Okay, so do you know how to access the Cash app? You'd have to exit the actual screen
go to my actual app. Go to my.
Yes, ma'am. Go to your actual Cash App.
I apologize.
Where you got your cash tag from? Remember when you told me what the thing was?
Okay.
Go to that.
Right, I'm here now. So enter my phone in my. Okay, so put my phone in. So I'm putting my phone in. I'm putting my phone. Thank you all for your patience with me.
Ain't no thing, because I definitely want to make sure you get this, because otherwise it'll send it back to me.
Okay, please enter a code sent Cash App. We'll be sending. Oh, wait, come back. Where did it go? Went too fast. Oh, the code. There it is. From message.
Yeah, don't say it out loud.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wait, come back. Wait. Come back. It goes so fast. I should have written it down. Go back. Can I go back? How do I
Can you go look at your text messages, because it sent you a text message.
Okay, so look at my text. Oh, there it is. I see it. Okay. Thank you again. Once I get it right now.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I just want to make sure, because we've had people that I send it to and they don't accept it, and then it expires and comes back to me. And I don't want that to happen. I want you to go on and make sure you got them, because I know this is your first time, period.
Okay.
And y'all,
yes, I got it in now.
Please be patient with us. We are doing this live right now, and Miss Brenda.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, Miss Brenda's one of our elders. We got to make sure we take care of them. So look, Miss Brenda. So are
yes,
you?
Okay, welcome to Cash App. Now what do I do?
Okay, at the bottom, do you see the $sign?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you see the little thing that looks like a clock to the right of that? It looks like a clock icon. Do you see that?
I don't know what it is. I see something, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's at
so I don't know if there's a clock or not. I can't tell if it's a clock. I see. First one says $7, then a square something, then a $, then some pictures. I can't tell what they are. Then a number 2 to the right.
So yeah, go to the fifth one. Go all the way
Click
to
the number 2. Click the number 2.
No, not
There's
the
a
number,
notification.
No. I'm talking about all the way to the. She needs to go all the way to the right.
Yeah, it's the same, Lamar. It's the same. Because sometimes the clock doesn't show up if you have notifications.
Okay,
Yeah, it has a number if you have notifications there, Lamar.
Okay, I got a clock. Oh, I see Lamar Wilson accept.
Yeah, hit accept.
Right? Accept. Confirm your first and last name. Yeah.
You brand new.
Enter your date of birth, August.
Don't say it out loud. Don't say it out loud.
I just temporarily muted her. I'm gonna turn her back on. Or we'll have to turn her back on.
Yeah, she gonna have to figure that out though, Ryan. Though you shouldn't have did that. Cause
on her birthday to be out there though.
I know, but you just gotta tell her that because now you gotta tell her to unmute.
All right, Miss Brenda. After you've done it, you can just click the little microphone in the right hand side of your screen, and you'll be able to turn it back on. We have faith in her.
Because we got to get her back to the other app though. That's what I'm saying. You making her go out of that app, go back to Clubhouse. You see what I'm saying?
You right. I messed up. My fault. Trying to protect.
Yeah, you just gotta tell her because she held it quiet the last time. Okay, I just saw it said Bitcoin accepted. Miss Brenda, can you go back to the Clubhouse app now and take yourself off mute?
If I take myself off mute, am I back?
Yes, ma'am. So did you took?
I saw some numbers. Now you know them numbers.
Yeah, them numbers are them numbers. The numbers you saw are them numbers. Oh Lord!
Oh my goodness!
You gonna make me cry,
Miss Brenda. Listen, now here's the thing.
I know God is good. God is good. God is real.
always.
I love y'all, man.
Oh my God, God is real. God is real. I'm telling you,
Lamar,
God is real.
can I say something real quick to Miss Brenda?
Yeah, you can.
There's good people in life. There's good people. There's good people in life.
Miss Brenda.
I'm gonna testify about y'all.
Miss Brenda.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. I believe you were one of the ones who came to our party on Friday night pretty late. It was like maybe 50 of you who all came. And I just want to thank you for coming back. How did you find out about us?
I don't even remember no party, ma'am. I'm learning how to do this. I don't even know if I was in a party or not.
Oh,
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Well, it was a group of you because you all had the ridiculous favor.
Yeah, Pastor Eckhart. That's
yes, because a couple of the apostles came in and a bunch of members came with them.
Okay,
so
yes,
I was just very glad to see you. You know, if it wasn't you, but to see one of you come back today.
Yes.
Because you know, I know you all came in while we were partying, but but we were celebrating the fact that we had got to 100,000 members. So I just wanted to point out to everyone that you know she is one of the ones who did come back to us from Friday night.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know where I was, but thank you. I'm gonna be with you. You stuck with me now. You stuck with me.
Okay. Well, we're glad you're here. Just tell your other fellow members about us as well. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your generosity.
And Miss Brenda, and I'm gonna say this: you don't have to tell nobody about us if you don't want to. I'm just be real with you. I just want you to make sure you take that what we gave you as a gift, and if you want to spread it to those people that you said you trying to get involved, spread it to them. Do whatever you want with that. That's yours.
I wanted to grow, sir. I wanted to grow.
That's yours.
What I wanted to do.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to be a millionaire. That's my goal.
Hey, listen. As of today, you already are a Satoshi millionaire. So understand that. All right.
Hey, Lamar, before you close.
Wow. Miss Brenda, I know everybody want to talk to Miss Brenda real quick. Miss Brenda, I am coming to Chicago to teach the crypto. I do something called a crypto 101 that I've been doing in the community. So I sent you an inbox on Instagram with the flyers for Chicago. There's 2 different locations. I would love for you to come out so I can at least
plant the seed and get you right on the right direction in reference to
I would
what
get
cryptocurrency is.
I will be there. The next, where the bus train, whatever's going, I will be there. I will be there. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
I sent you an inbox. So if you can't find it, you can find me on social media.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
Naja Roberts. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you all. You have no idea how much you touched my heart. That's me this point. You have no idea. You just have no idea. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, Mr. Lamar. Thank you so. Big hug, Mr. Lamar. Big hug to you. Big hug to you.
Oh yeah, I give you some sugar, Miss Brenda. That's what I like to give. I give you some sugar.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, man. This is what Black Bitcoin Billionaires has been doing since since its inception. We've been trying to make sure we take care of folk, put Bitcoin in people's hands, teach them how to use and secure their Bitcoins. And I just want to say thank you to the Black Bitcoin Billionaires for the spirit that we have in this group. Like real talk, like we got to keep this thing going. Like we got people from all walks of life, all ages, all creeds, all cultures, all genders, all sexualities in this group. And the fact that we are able to do this type of thing is a powerful, powerful thing. So shout out to all of the people that have supported us, the members that have supported us. Shout out to all the business that have supported us. And we want to just keep this thing rolling. This is just the beginning. And Miss Brenda, thank you very, very, very much for coming in here today. You inspired me with your gratitude. And I'm not going to lie to you. Because there's some folk we done gave coins to, and they basically send it back and say, what am I going to do with this? So the fact that before I even sent you one, you was thankful is an amazing thing. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to say real quick, sorry to cut in, but I was listening, and Miss Brenda, we share the same birthday. I'm not going to repeat it. My little sister also has the same birthday, so I'm going to send you some more sats on Cash App, some more Bitcoin on Cash App right now. So I just want to let you know to expect that to come in.
Amen. Who? I'm trying to see.
This is Des Moines. I'm towards the bottom. Des Moines.
There you are. I see you.
Yes, we have the same birthday.
Thank you, sir.
You're my sister.
Thank you,
Des Moines. I think we should get a little donation train started. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm feeling good, man.
I'm in there too.
It was a cash tag. I didn't catch it.
It was. It's B. The letter B, Miller Martin. B, Miller Martin, all together, one word.
Thank you.
The letter
Thank you.
Yeah, B as in boy, Miller Martin. Her name is Brenda Martin. You'll see it when it comes up. Well,
you all are such a gracious people. Thank you.
I got a puddle on the floor underneath me. I probably need to get a mop. Cause Lord, man, I like to be all the way real, Miss Brenda. I just love the fact that you were so grateful. Like it's something about that touched me wholly. Because if people would just learn to be grateful, you'll realize that gratefulness is the beginning of abundance. If you feel like that what you have, you grateful for, and that you got everything that you need, then everything that else is abundance. Everything else that's added to what you already have is abundance. And when you come from a place of abundance, man, your whole life will change. Real talk, man.
Yes.
Real talk. So I don't even know what else to say. Miss Naja, I'm gonna just kick it back to you to keep this thing going.
All right, and I got a puddle over here in the laundromat too. Miss Brenda, we love you. I hope to see you in Chicago so I can give you some nuggets to go along today. So thank you. We appreciate you. And next up to the stage is Coach. Coach, thank you for your patience with us today.
Oh yeah, no problem. It's going to be pretty hard to follow that one up. I tell you that much. I do have one question and then one comment. Miss Naja, first of all, thank you all to the moderators for what you all do. I love being a student in this room and then adding whatever value I can when I can. So I really appreciate all the work you all do. With that being said, Miss Naja, when are you? I couldn't see where I could find out your tour schedule. Is that on Black Bitcoin Billionaire? Because I was on the website and I wasn't able to find it.
If you send me an Instagram right now, I'm going to send you the whole entire file that has all the different cities I'll be in. So if you know anybody in those cities, I would appreciate you sending those flyers to them as well. So just hit me on Instagram.
Okay, I will definitely do so. And
hit me on Instagram. I'll send it to you right now.
Okay, I'll do that right now. And while I'm on here, I just wanted to say thank you all for continuing to provide value, because what I'm seeing in terms of, like, you know, when you were talking earlier about people hopping into the space and just purchasing coins off of the strength of just basically gambling, like they're going up to a corner store and buying a scratch off, in a sense. I love how you all continue to advocate for the value of what we're doing, and, you know, to give context to people who are new in this space of investing. I always, you know, tell people that, you know, don't look to score rich off of investing in something, but score rich off of the value that you provide and the talents and things that you provide. I've looked at a lot of you all's bios, like Lamar, Naja, Shakumi. I've looked at all of you guys' bios, and you all do something else besides investing in Bitcoin. So for those who are new, who are listening, I always advocate for people to actually find their value first, and then if you're going to invest in anything, in any set of investment, but particularly we're talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. If you're going to invest, you're actually investing your value, not your dollars, because your dollars don't. The dollars are just supposed to be a reflection of your value. So I always tell people to invest in themselves first and build their value up. That way, when it's time to make major investments in things that could ultimately grow your wealth and bolster you to that next level, you'll be in a position to do that. And that's all I would have to say for that is, you know, everyone in here, continue to build your value. Thank you to all of the guys at BBB for continuing to provide value and giving your time up to educate us. This is Coach Ken and Ms. Naja. I'm gonna hit you up on Instagram now, and I appreciate all the education that you all have given me and everyone else in this room. Thanks so much.
You are so very welcome. I thank you, Coach Ken. And next up to the stage, we have Bobby. Bobby, welcome to the Black Bitcoin Billionaire Hour.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you guys for always bringing me up. Just wanted to start it off with Ms. Miller Martin. I did get your reply. Just don't forget to accept those. And God is great. But I just kind of wanted to touch on the message of the conversation. I can only speak from my experience and perspectives. But being Filipino, the whole Dogecoin, altcoin thing is rampant in my community. And unfortunately, I just believe the change is going to be really tough. No matter how much, you know, we try, we just can't get everybody on board. But one of the things I always like to say is just, you know, pain is our greatest teacher. And people are either going to live or learn from our mistakes that we try to teach them, or they're going to learn on their own. But the problem that I really have with a lot of my peers is that they're just listening to people with status. We touched on it earlier, from Snoop to Elon to Cuban to whoever you want to put in there. But those are just the celebrities. The ones that I really have the problem with are friends. You know, the people. Unfortunately, it's cliquish. In my community, it's cliquish, right? You've got this set, you've got that set from wherever they're from, interests, hobbies, or whatnot. And there are certain people in these circles that are the alphas. And unfortunately, those are the people that I think are ruining it for my community. You know, the quote unquote plug, or the quote unquote, you know, quarterback, the jock, the cool guy. And I think that's the problem that I have with it. And unfortunately, I think it's not cool to be patient and think long term. It's not cool to think about the larger picture. We're currently in an instant gratification society where people, you know, a lot. I hear this term a lot from you know, a lot of my young folks. Live fast, die young. You know, kind of that mentality. And the trap really is consumerism. Someone touched on it earlier. You know, again, in my area, all of my peoples are concerned with the latest Jordans, Nike shoes, or whatever. And they're on websites trying to be the first one to get it. You know, they're getting Supremes or the first iPhone or whatnot. And none of them are looking long term. And, you know, that whole unit bias thing where, you know, coins versus fractional coins, it's not just the unit bias, it's that 5x, 10x, 20x that they see in Doge. And then you try to explain to them about Bitcoin and you say, yeah, you could double your money by the end of the year. You could 3x, 4x, 5x your money in a couple years. And they're just not about that, you know. And I think the problem is because people need money now. And that's one of the toughest parts. They can't see the long game when they're blinded by today's struggles. And, I think, frankly, people are just so fatigued with their normal lives because of this day-to-day consumerism, this consumption of mindless entertainment in our check-to-check lives, that people are just too tired to learn. And I think those that take the time to educate themselves and fight through that fatigue, if they see that their future is worth investing in, then they will invest the time to learn. And, I heard on a room earlier that from HODL, I don't know if you guys follow these other rooms, but American HODL, he really compared what's happening in the altcoin community to the game Lemmings. I don't know how many of y'all remember the game Lemmings, but it's really what it is. It's everybody follows the leader into death sometimes, into these, these circumstances and these situations just that aren't beneficial to them, but they will follow the leader regardless. But, kind of just to wrap it all up, man, to all the new Android users, man, welcome. And to kind of mimic what Ryan was saying earlier, this particular club, this particular community, as you can see from what Mar just did and how we all kind of band together, this is the best club on Clubhouse, in my opinion. The moderators have experience, they have knowledge, and they speak to me in a manner that I can relate to. And so, as the great Ryan always says, my name is Bobby, and I'm done speaking.
Yes, sir. Hey, Miss Naja, I do have a question from, there was so much going on Facebook and YouTube that they were like, Lamar, look up. We got some questions up here. So, Peso Ham says, what's a good price for BTC? Also, if you had $3,000 with no expenses, a young black male, what would you say 50% invest in? Like, what would you invest 50% of it in? And I know everybody's going to be real hesitant on this because we don't give financial advice. But, one of the things that we say, if you want Bitcoin, right, the easiest way to accumulate more Bitcoin is to what we call dollar cost average. So what that means is you take a small amount or whatever amount you're going to take that you're going to invest, and you take that over a period of time and buy on that same period of time for a matter of time, right? So if you want to buy, you put $200 in a week on a Friday, and every Friday you put $200 into the market, because what that does is, regardless of the price, it allows you to accumulate at that price. And over time, you're going to get the average price of Bitcoin, but you're going to steadily be accumulating that Bitcoin. So we always talk about dollar cost averaging because that's the easy way for us to go about doing it.
Now, I will say one of the greatest investments that you can make is making it in yourself. It matters not many times how much capital you have if you don't know how to properly use it, because what winds up happening is most people lose it, right? So start where you are, use what you have, and move forward. Do the education piece, do the reading. Think about the purpose, why. Let the why inform what you do, and make sure that it matches your goal. This is Ryan. I'm done speaking.
All right. Well, we are moving down the line there. I think next we have Benny to the stage. Benny, welcome.
How all y'all beautiful black people doing? I definitely am just grateful to be in this room. It's a breath of fresh air because it's such a drought out here, and it's still the wild west. So it's pretty brand new as far as the space, as far as cryptocurrencies as involved. But the more I run into people getting into this space, and y'all have
Benny,
already,
did I get you paid this week?
Bro, listen. Bro, we already know what I'm not even Jakumi. I already know where I'm coming from. I'm a fellow Cobainite, Curtis Cobain, if y'all don't know who that is. He's the GOAT of cryptocurrency, in my opinion at least. But I learned most of what I learned through him, and it saved me so much headache and so much error. And I definitely want to first of all, like I said, thank this room for being as resourceful as it is. I'm definitely blown away with what y'all did with Miss Brenda. But what I did want to ask was, have anybody done any research on Akon with the Acoin thing? And are you? Because I don't get the feel that everybody's or this room is like staunch, Bitcoin maxis, so I just wanted to ask what, have anybody heard about, Akon's Acoin thing? I know Jakumi has, because I've been talking to him about it before too, but what have anybody heard about it? What's your thoughts on it? Just thoughts on that.
Well, I'll come on mute and say for the last 2 years, I've been trying to partner with them and find out about the coin, and I have had no success thus far. And everybody that I have talked to in that camp is not representation of what I felt like. And again, it's just my opinion, but just not representation of what I would think coming from that particular project in that particular space.
Yeah, I think he's really lagging behind, because I think Cardano is gonna take the market before he even gets to where he wants to be. He had a great idea, because currencies are sort of very volatile in Africa. So the idea that he had come up with was brilliant and quite important at this time, but I think he's just been slow to act on it. I've just been following the project, but it seems there hasn't been much movement really.
Yeah, because I've been looking. I've stumbled upon Acorn in 2019. That's when I really got serious in the investment period, and Acorn was like one of the first coins I really did happen to stumble upon, and it's like, oh snap, Acorn gonna do this, and with Senegal is gonna be supposedly the total economic infrastructure and stuff like that. So I was like, that's pretty dope. Sound like fairly good use case. If he's gonna really set it up like that. But I just haven't been hearing much about it either. I just was wondering, have anybody in this group particularly, have been hearing anything else besides what I've been hearing.
Okay,
I think
let me go ahead and talk on this, because let me explain something to y'all. I try to stay out of certain conversations, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk on this, because I think what happens is that people start to read the marketing on things and don't really think about the actual economic part of it. And what I'm saying is, I interviewed Akon, and Akon's cool as heck, right? I interviewed him about 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago, for Black Enterprise on Tech Connect on stage. And then he and I talked afterwards, and then we talked again in Vegas about Acoin. At that time, they were on Ethereum, and we were launching the CJs on Stellar, and they talked to me a lot about it. And now Acoin has moved over to the Stellar platform. But the one thing we have to understand about currencies is that currencies are the manifestation of the resources of which you can buy with that currency. So you have to actually have an economy before you have the currency. You get what I'm saying? Just printing a currency is not going to give it any value or anything like that. It has to be something that if you have this currency, you can buy things and actually, like I said earlier, pay the supply chain, right? Like be able to go all the way down to the person who gets either the food out of the ground or the mineral out of the ground. Because all economies start at the ground. What resources, what natural resources do you have? And that's where it pretty much comes from. Or it happens from the service side, right? Like America is a service economy now. We get all our resources pretty much everywhere else. But when you start thinking about that, it's like, okay, you could create a coin for Senegal, but you still have to have an economy to back that coin for that coin to be worth anything. And if it is just a medium of exchange, then why would it continue to increase in value outside of the resources that you can buy for it? So just to buy it and say, yeah, I got a good use case, you have to still have an economy. So I think it's still yet to be seen how that's going to work. And you don't want your currency to be extremely volatile. You almost want it to almost be really stable, right? From a stable coin perspective. So you want it to be stable against something so that the things that you're buying with it, it actually creates some velocity to that money that you continue to circulate it within your economy. So that's the only thing. So I think Acoin in of itself, I love the premise. I love the whole idea of it. And as a matter of fact, I think it's upon the same idea that Gaddafi was trying to do by uniting Africa into one central currency to allow for that to be the currency for the resources. It has yet to be seen what's going to happen with it just yet, because I know he's still building the city, his ACOIN city, but I know he wants to spread it across the entire continent of Africa and become this one united currency. So I think the aspirations are really good. But just be very careful into thinking that just because it's a currency that is going to go up in value, rapidly or whatever. Just be very careful about all of that, because you got to understand the economics behind it for real.
I'm glad you said that, Lamar, because again, like you said, I'm trying not to, be caught up and be like, I don't want to be caught up just because, okay, it's it's from ACOIN, Senegal, romanticizing about how it's such a good concept versus okay, how is this really going to make sense as far as numbers? And just because it's going to be, exclusive to Senegal's population from what I hear, at least on the foundational level, that was something that was getting me very excited. All the more the fact that I heard it was going to have a scarcity component to it. But that's why I'm asking, because it's I'm trying not to be excited about it, to your point, and to actually think soberly, hey, well, what's really good with this coin? Just because it came from ACON and all this, I want to support. I want to, anything that's black, I definitely want to try to support stuff like that. But we also have to be, like you said, mindful of how it's really going to benefit everybody that's involved in the situation, if that makes sense.
No, I got you. I think the thing is that there's a different mentality when you talk about support. Like me, I'm telling everybody right now, I'm definitely going to support the ACOIN when it comes out. Like, everybody knows I'm pretty much a Bitcoin guy, but when it comes to just supporting people, that's different, right? I'm not looking at it as some type of financial gain. If there's a financial gain that comes from my support, so be it. But I really just want to do it because I want to support. It's just the same thing with Miss Tavana and Guapcoin. I just want to support. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. That's just me. And it ain't got nothing to do with the coins, the economics, the tokenomics. I've said this before on there. It just really has to do with me saying, I see this project, I see what they're trying to do, and I'm just going to support it because I'm going to support it. And I don't give a crap what anybody says to me about it. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to support, that's a different mentality than feeling like you're going to be able to flip it and get, become a billionaire off of it. Some people think that, right? They'll look at it and be like, well, this is going to make me rich in dollars. And then they'll sell. That's what happens a lot. Then they'll sell that coin, right? They'll sell ACON's currency. And then what happens, they wind up selling it, dumping it onto the market after they bought so many at the beginning, just so they can get more fiat, and that don't help ACON at all. You know what I mean? Like, I want to get to the point where if I'm a support, I got the coin, I can use the coin in his economy. I can go to Senegal and get busy in ACOIN City. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. City. Exactly. Because, hey, if that's the ground floor, I mean, he might as well call it vibranium. Cause
no, that's what you're right. You're right though. That's what I'm saying. It's just, that's what we get down to, right? It's like, do you support it or do you not? And then, when you start looking at it, if you want to look at it directly and from a perspective of from an economic perspective, a macroeconomic perspective, that's a different mindset right now. There's a lot of things that have to happen for that to actually blow all the way up. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't support if you feel like in your heart you want to support the man. You feel me?
Definitely. No, I definitely appreciate that. Again, love what y'all doing. I'm gonna definitely continue to peer in and listen some more.
Yeah, for sure. Welcome.
And refer.
Welcome, brother. Welcome.
I know Tima wanted to say something as well.
No, I'm good. That's exactly, I'm good.
Sorry,
so I'll quickly say this too. I'm concerned. Go ahead.
No, Ryan, because I was just trying to go to, because we were about to close up on Facebook, and I know there's 2 more questions on Facebook. But go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, I was going to say my biggest challenge with ACOIN is all of the backing potentially, right, from China, France, all these other places that are coming in, right? And Africa as a whole, in general, especially in the West, is pushing back against, we don't need all of these powers to try to come in and, take our resources and act like they're helping us. So, them using Stellar is really good though, because it is Sharia law compliant, and things of that nature. So that's a plus. But anytime there's outside interference, right, from these other nations that have not treated us well, it's just like a second form of colonization all over again. But then they're using money to do it, right? They're saying we're going to incentivize you, we're going to help you, but it's not really that, right? So that is my only pushback against the coin. But I definitely hope that it is successful, and we'll do some things. Back to you, Lamar.
Yeah, so let me go ahead, Miss Naja. I'm gonna go ahead, and because I did find those questions, I'm gonna ask both of them because we close down in 5 minutes now. Miss Shalonda Tanner said, "Word on the street is that Robinhood was marketing heavily to our people of color. They were enticed to purchase Doge in the onboarding process. How can we educate in a compassionate and understanding way about the use case for Bitcoin versus altcoins like Doge and ETH?" And then the second question from Angela Briggins Williams is, as a small business owner, what is your opinion on merchants accepting Bitcoin as payment? Any pros or cons? So anybody want to take the first one? Which is basically about like, how do we get people to watch out for Robinhood?
Yeah, the one thing I'll say on that, Lamar, with Robinhood is that take something like Bitcoin, right? Something that we know has a real intrinsic value and the network effects and all the principles that it holds. Bitcoin doesn't need a marketing team. Once again, when you look at Robinhood and the way they've been marketing things like ETH and Doge on my Twitter feed, I've been seeing Doge 11 million times, in the last 2 weeks through paid advertisements. So always be skeptical of somebody who's trying to push you very hard to move into a certain direction. That should be a red flag and a warning sign for you that it may be something where it's not in your best interest, but in the interest of the people that are trying to get you to make that move in that direction. The last thing I'll say on that is that I think that our community, particularly Black folk, we need to understand that for a lot of businesses and a lot of people, we are the tipping point. We represent the tipping point. Once we adopt something, we adopt it heavy, and that really makes people move into different tiers of their business. So getting back to that point that you and Nasha were going back and forth on earlier about Doge, Lamar, I think the middle ground between there is, there's tons of other people in that Doge thing that weren't us. But I think what Naja was seeing was that we were representing the tipping point. Once we started to get into it, it really started to move. So we need to be very, very leery of that when people are pushing us in one direction.
Also, too, when it comes to spreading the news about Robinhood or any other app that's not good, reach out to the people that's already in your circle. I'm pretty sure if you're on social media, post the correct information that you have. And the best thing you can do is put out the good information that you know, and the people in your circle will get that information, and hopefully they can spread it on. But that's the only way that they'll get it. You have to get it to the people that's within your reach.
And really quickly, definitely let them know that convenience costs, right? If they're trying to save for retirement, does Robinhood have that? No. If I'm trying to pass something along, can I assign beneficiaries on that platform? No, right? So we always start with the goal in mind and just say, hey, if something is free, what does that mean for me? Well, generally speaking, you are some form of a product, right? Like all of us on this app, we are some form of a product. In our case, we are the educators within this space, right? And we are freely giving to you as well, right? So always remember convenience costs, but start with a goal. This is Ryan. I'm done speaking.
Do you own your keys with Robinhood?
No, you don't.
No, you don't. That's the main part. And low gravy, I just been telling people, don't let Dogecoin trick you off these Bitcoin streets.
Yeah, Dogecoin sitting in the alleyway. Come here. Let me talk to you for a second.
You want to go to the moon? Go to the moon?
Yeah, you trying to go to the moon? Come here. Let me holler at you. Listen, you wouldn't go walk down the back alley with some random cat saying that to you. Let's make sure we answer this last question. We got 2 minutes, y'all. As a small business owner, what is your opinion on merchants accepting Bitcoin as payment? Any pros or cons? And I'll let somebody quickly answer that. We got 1 minute. Somebody knock it out.
On the business side, I think it's smart for business to do it. If you want the good more than you want your Bitcoin, go ahead.
I have a small business and I accept Bitcoin for my small business. I accept it for both of my chiropractic offices as copay for their portion of what they owe to their insurance through their insurance company after their insurance company pays. I think it's a good idea. What I would advise you to do though is make sure that you're setting up a separate account, separate from your own personal account for your business, just to make sure that you're not commingling, and take a percentage of your profits in Bitcoin. Maybe not all of the income that you have only accept Bitcoin, but I would say it's a good idea to take a percentage. It does encourage some customers to, you accept Bitcoin. Not a lot of people, I can say, have paid me with Bitcoin. Not all of my customers or my patients have paid me with Bitcoin, but some will, and it is a good draw for those that are in the space.
Yeah, she made a really good point. You can actually just take cash and then convert it to Bitcoin. It might be an even easier thing, because to get Bitcoin, you have to find people that actually are out here using their Bitcoin. But it might just be way easier just to go and use your dollars and purchase the Bitcoin that way. Plus, it'll help with your taxes and stuff too. But a con, just give you a con of accepting Bitcoin. Two cons that I always think about is that your supply chain probably is not accepting Bitcoin. Like that's definitely one of them, right? Your supply chain isn't accepting Bitcoin. Most of the people aren't going to be accepting it. So you're going to have to convert that Bitcoin into dollars to even, get your cost of goods sold. And then the other con is, of course, Bitcoin is volatile. So because it's volatile, what happens is that, right now, if you took Bitcoin this past year, you're like, I got $5 for it, and now it's looking like 15, all right, 20 or something like that. So that's a beautiful thing, but there's also a downside, and we have to recognize that, and we have to be real about the situation. So if the market begins to take it down, and then you didn't take your money out to be able to pay your suppliers, then you're gonna mess around and be upside down. So I think the biggest thing is to just get an understanding of what your working capital is, and understand what you're going to have to pay your suppliers if they're not willing to accept Bitcoin, and go from there. I think the coolest thing is if you can get your suppliers to accept Bitcoin, your first line suppliers, and then they have to deal with it, right? I think that's a really cool thing, because now the accounting is really beautiful. And it makes it real easy to just send those coins to people. And, it's really nice when you're just all Bitcoin. And I would like to say Black Bitcoin Billionaires is an all Bitcoin business. If you do business with us, we charge Bitcoin, except I can't say that except for the merch. The merch is dollars, but all of the supporterships and everything like that have been in Bitcoin. So with that said, I think we pretty much done on Facebook, man. I would like to just be like, it's so good to this has been an amazing day, man. It's been an emotional roller coaster today, man. I've been up and down, most of it completely joy, I would say. I would like to thank everybody who's been here, stayed with us for the Genesis block this morning at 11 a.m. Make sure you come back and check us again 11 a.m. now, and also make sure you come into the Clubhouse. Android is now available. Android is now available on the Clubhouse app is now available on Android, which means you can come on in. Bring your friends, bring your family. Make sure you get into blackbitcoinbillionaire.com. Make sure you come to blackbitcoinbillionaire.com, and also come to Clubhouse, which is Black Bitcoin Billionaire, and find more information about what we do on an everyday basis. Thank y'all, everybody. And like we always say, live love, love life. If you live love, you'll love your life. We'll see y'all next time, man. Appreciate y'all.